5 a.m. I got on TED Talk, watch Allan Savory talk about desertification and moving animals around, and that's my thing with Greg Judy and Gabe Brown. I'm just fascinated with this deal. And you know, the world is always wanting to prove things with data, and here's the thing, everything's contextual. So by the time you've proven something, we've moved on, we're all smarter anyway. So let's start talking about what's relevant, which is the curve, and I started looking at the Sigmoid curve. You know, I talk a lot about the phi curve and seed population, and when you look at this S curve, like say for corn, for instance, you might be able to make the most money at 25,000 population, keep your inputs down. That's your equilibrium. When margins are tight, we can overdo it, we can underdo it. But when we start adding entities like relay crop, where you have a wheat that's compromising and it has ancillary benefits that help the other crop, and then you start adding all these entities, that's where the magic happens, where you're not fighting, trying to figure out in a room and data points and all this stuff how to make $10 an acre. Madness! So, what does that have to do with business? Well, you have to realize that there are plateaus in life, whether grazing. We need to keep litter on the ground. We need to keep the roots. So come back, we get that litter on the ground as Greg Judy comes. That's that equilibrium point that Allan Savory is talking about. He's talking about going in the desert and following the Sigmoid curve. You know, movement, movement, movement. So when we started this meat truck, it's been going really well, but we know we're going to hit a plateau. Only so many people can fill their bellies with meat. There's only so much market they can draw on, so we need movement. So that's what we're going to talk about, moving this meat truck around and make a threes company between the venue that we move to, the farmer, and the processor marketer, and move around. What we're seeing is we're selling a crazy amount of meat in the first 90 minutes, and then it kind of wanes. So if we can pre-order and get out ahead and go to a venue and say, we're going to come in 30 days, they pre-order, we give them a bit of percentage of the revenue, then when we show up, we already have $5,000 or $10,000 worth of meat sold. That truck is extremely valuable like that. And then we move on. Then we move location, so we're not hitting the same ground. We're going to start kiosks and start stacking our entities and have several cold local options to queue these kiosks, move this truck around,